loves, thank you for joining me for another episode of Disturbing Reasons to Be Afraid of the Dark. I'm glad you could join me for part 4 of Poveglia Island. And if you haven't watched the other 3, go ahead and go watch them now before you watch this one, because if you watch this one, you'll be completely lost. So please make sure you go watch the other ones before you listen to this one, because I don't want you to be lost and feel like, I got gypped. Where's the rest of the story? But don't worry, I have the other 3. I am currently trying to put them in playlists, but my internet's messing up because in Alabama right now, the weather is really, really bad. Well, not really bad, like thunder and lightning, just a lot of rain. So the signal in here in my home is kind of iffy right now. So yeah, but let's go ahead and get started. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment to my page. I put it in the I put it everywhere, I know, but I'm so grateful the ones that have subscribe to my page. I am very grateful. And the first 100 subscribers, I will be forever grateful to y'all. I mean, I think we'll be the closest out of everyone that subscribes to my page. I mean, we'll all be pretty close, but I think the first 100 and we'll be pretty tight-knit because we're the first. You know, y'all are the first here. Y'all are the first to support me. And I really appreciate it. Like, I really do. But let's go ahead and get started to Poveglia Island. And remember, if you have any requests, let me know, and I will do them for you as soon as I can. I do the request before I do anything else that I have written down, because I feel like y'all wants come first. But like if I'm starting a series, like I won't do it until after. And I'll let you know. Like I'll always let you know. I won't just leave you hanging. Remember? Ignore this. See this? This is ridiculous. Like, I am beyond upset that that's there. Like, I never really break out like this. Like, I might catch one, like, here or one right here, but not 3 or 4 in a row. Like, it goes like this. It's like a L. Like, loser. Oh! But anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's see, where was I? Okay. Let's get started. About what felt like an hour and a half later, I got the courage to stand. I know what most of you are thinking. I should have stayed in that room until dawn. However, whatever was outside the door knew I was in there. How long before it came back with help? I did not want to end up strapped down to the hospital bed again. Of course, or worse, an operating table. My best chance was to make a run for it and cross the bridge to the other half of the island. With a few deep breaths, I burst through the door and made my way out of the building, tripping over nothing and slamming into everything. At this point, it didn't matter how much noise I made. My location was compromised regardless. I made it outside and fell into the mud. The moon gave me very little light as I peeked through the black clouds. Covered in mud, I made it to my feet and let out a very loud scream. Standing about 20 yards away, I could make out the mask, the long mask. I can't pronounce it. I don't want to mispronounce it. And y'all like, what is she talking about? You know? Okay. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Staring at me. I ran to the direction of where I was fairly sure the bridge was, constantly looking over my shoulder for pursuers. The rain constantly hitting my face like needles, and my lungs were on fire due to the icy air. I've never been a runner. Even in high school, I managed to find excuses not to run the long mile fitness test every week. I regret that now. I came to an exasperated stop, leaning over trying to catch my breath, and started dry heaving. I looked up and could see the bridge. I was so close. A branch snapped behind me. Someone was following close behind. Not turning around, I started towards the bridge in a slow jog, when eventually I turned into a full-blown sprint. When I reached the bridge, I turned back and scanned the tree line. To my surprise, no one was there. Then again, it was quite dark. The trees gave nothing in it to advantage of being cloaked in darkness. While I stood in the middle of the bridge, illuminated in the little light the moon gave off behind the clouds. The crickets stopped chirping one by one and everything went silent. A low humming sound started off quiet and started to grow. I couldn't make out what exactly it was, but it sounded like it was coming from all around me. I picked a direction and started running through the thick, grassy field behind me. It felt like my feet were sinking into the ground. I had no idea where I was going. It was so dark. I tripped and landed onto the soft, muddy soil with a puff of dirt and ash filling the air. I was covered from head to toe in mud. I stood up and looked around while spitting mud out of my mouth. I couldn't remember which direction I had come from. It didn't help that I could barely see my hand in front of me either. I pulled the lighter out of my back pocket and tried to get it to light despite the heavy rainfall. No dice. There was just too much rain to get it to emit even the smallest flame. The humming noise is much louder, and I could see a small flickering light in the distance. "Help!" I screamed as loud as I can and began running towards the light. I continue to scream as the ground beneath me changes from dirt to wood. I can hear the water lapping off of the wooden beams below me. The light gets bigger. I scream louder. The humming sound I heard earlier is getting louder now. The light shines on me. I wave my arms, screaming for help. The light is blinding me now. I shield my eyes. I hear people yelling in Italian as the light passes me. I can't see my eyes. I couldn't see with my eyes and unable to adjust to the light. An arm reaches out to me. I grab it and I'm yanked onto a boat. My mind is racing, my eyes adjust, and the boat is moving now. An Italian woman, probably in her early 50s, approaches me and gently puts her arms around my shoulders. She whispers in a soft voice to me words I don't understand. I don't speak Italian. I'm sorry, I don't speak, I started to say as she interrupted me with more soft-spoken Italian. I felt like I was a small child from the way I was being talked to. I sat there in shock as the boat sped through the water, leaving Poveglia Island in the distance. She left me for a few moments, rustling in the cabin below, and returned with a blanket which she wrapped around me. She grabbed my hand and led me down a few steps into the small cabin as she yelled up at the man driving the boat while smiling. I took a seat on the couch that lined the wall. I was still shaky, unsure if it was from the cold or being soaked, or the fear that terrorized me earlier. The woman began humming to herself softly as she grabbed more blankets from a cabinet. She returned to me and I huddled back a little. To be honest, I was still trying to grasp the concept of being rescued. She sat down next to me and smiled. She threw the small blanket over my shoulder, my shivering body, and said one single word in English that made my eyes water up. "You're safe." She said in a very thick accent, "Safe." I could hear commotion outside the boat, and the woman hurried me up and out of my seat and back on the deck of the boat. We had docked. I was immediately greeted with a warm hug from Sahara. I could hear my brother cry out to me. The sky was starting to gray as the morning birds chirped happily. Tears started to roll down out of my eyes as I was met with the familiar scent of her perfume. Still standing on the dock was Anthony, Sebastian, and Michael. Impossible. Michael? I stuttered in disbelief. I was angry now. Everything I knew or had thought I knew was suddenly thrown into a hurricane of hysteria in my mind. "I watched you die," I cried as I let go of Sahara and climbed my way off the boat and onto the deck. Everyone looked at me with confusion and fear. Sebastian approached me with raised eyebrows. "Baby," he stated, what are you talking about?" I took a step back as the boat sped off into the distance. What do you mean?" I yelled. "We got stranded. Don't you remember? We had to sleep in the church." I pointed to Michael. "You were cut open on an operating table, screaming for help. We got separated the first night we were there." Everyone was silent. Anthony took a step towards me. "Octavia, you disappeared 2 days ago, after you had to go to the bathroom." He spoke softly. "No, we all went together. We got stranded." I trailed off in false confidence as everyone stared at me with concern. "Octavia," Michael had to ask around with your picture to see if anyone had seen you. "It wasn't until we were directed to a fisherman yesterday that we had an idea of where you were." Sahara was talking now. "Apparently, you had paid him to take you on a tour and threw yourself into the water as the guy was passing Poveglia Island. He tried calling out to you, but you just kept swimming towards the island, so he turned around. Octavio, we were never on the island with you." I was as lost for words. "We had to pay that couple to search for you because they wouldn't let us near the island. They said it was too dangerous for tourists." Michael said. My head was swimming in the ocean of confusion that was causing a headache. I tried to retrace my thoughts of everything that had happened those 2 nights. Sahara and Sebastian exchanged frowns. Sebastian threw his arm around me and kissed me on the forehead. "You just need Some rest, baby, he softly whispered, looking lovingly into my eyes. I smiled despite my inner turmoil. They continued to console me the entire night and the whole flight home the next afternoon. But when I would try to bring Poveglia up, I was told it wasn't good for my health and I shouldn't try to get my mind overthink things. To this day, no one believes me. What I experienced, not my family, not my now husband, Sebastian, nor Sahara or Michael. Anthony won't even look at me anymore. I know what I saw. I know what I experienced. I'm not crazy. I am not a harm to myself or others. Sometimes I wake up from night terrors. Most nights I'm afraid if I go to sleep I'll wake up from night. I'm sorry. Most nights I'm afraid if I go to sleep I'll wake up strapped to the hospital bed. I tried to push those memories to the back of my mind, to bury them. Eventually I was able to move forward from it. However, there has always been one thing that has never clicked right, that I just couldn't stop thinking about. Something that just never made sense to me. Sahara has said I paid a fisherman to take me to Poveglia. I don't speak Italian. That story shook me. Like, I was like, what the fuck? So basically, she went by herself. She paid the fisherman to take her to Poveglia Island with no one with her. Her husband, her fiance wasn't with her. Her brother, her best friend, or her best friend's husband. None of them were with her. She went alone. And she was there alone, but in her mind, she remembered them getting off the boat with her, going to the island, sleeping in the church, and Michael getting cut open by the doctors. She doesn't remember them not being with her. It's crazy. Like, when I first read that, I was like, I have to read this to y'all. Like, I have to. I knew y'all would find it just as compelling as I did. I mean, I was just amazed by it. I am still amazed. Like, I still get goosebumps when she said, I don't speak Italian. So how did I get on that island? Like, was it a ghostly phenomenon? Like, did something possess her that really wanted her there from her passing by the first time? Like, did that co-inspire? Was something waiting for her? Was she a descendant of someone from that island that died there? Or one of the doctors? Who knows? Like, but it was a true story. She wrote it, but she didn't give her real name. But I saw the comments and everybody was like, thankfully everything was very genuine. She goes to a therapist now. She's getting the help she needs, which is great, and I'm so glad. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to talk about for tomorrow. So if y'all have any requests, go ahead and let me know if y'all want to hear something before I put what I decide. And stay tuned because I have some very interesting on the Bell Witch. I've done a lot of research on that. That's what I've been doing. My hand is crippled from it. But yeah. But y'all have a good evening, and don't forget to go watch my other videos, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for slime next Sunday, and go watch my slime videos. And I hope y'all have a great evening, and remember, stay scared, my Nicky Loos.